It is time now for Kara's Cures, and we're talking about how our weight can certainly be a sign of our overall well-being.
Dr. Adrienne Youdim, the author of Hungry for More, Stories and Science to Inspire Weight Loss from the Inside Out, is joining us now. Thank you so much for being with us, Doctor. We appreciate your time.
I'm so happy to be with you.
So it's interesting because I think women especially, and a lot of people have gained weight after the pandemic, so I guess women and men, but there gets to a point where like, what I was doing before isn't working, or why can't I lose weight? And you're saying it's really an inside job. There are things that are going on the inside that have been scientifically proven. It's much more than just cutting calories.
Absolutely. And to your point, the last 18 months have shown men and women that weight gain is emotional, right? We have all been experiencing difficult emotions, sadness, loneliness, traumas of various degrees. And the science actually shows that our emotions do impact our weight in a very interesting way. So we know that our hunger is determined by hunger hormones. And in a normal situation, you eat food, food gets relayed, that message gets relayed to the brain through the brain. And so our hunger is suppressed. But what we've learned is that difficult emotions like stress actually hijack those hunger hormones, turning them in the direction that promote hunger even when we've eaten food. And so this is a really direct connection between difficult emotions, stress, and weight gain.
You don't like the word diet, do you, Doc?
Well, diet is just what we eat, but in our society, in our culture, it has been identified and defined as something restrictive.
Right.
And restrictive and restriction, deprivation always triggers wanting for more. I joke around that the one day a year, Yom Kippur, that I'm not supposed to eat, I wake up thinking about pancakes. Why is that? Right? It's because I can't have them. And so I like to think about food in terms of abundance. Eat so much of that which serves you so that there's less desire, less room for that which is not. And the funny thing is we have all these nonsense rules like eat chicken, the size of the palm of your hand. Nobody gained weight eating too much chicken, right?
Right.
So what should we eat and how do we balance? I mean, there's certainly like if you're feeling really happy but eating ding dongs all day, you're probably going to gain weight. So
I love a good ding dong.
And I know you're a scientist.
Ding dongs, those are blasts for the past, right?
I know you have a lot of science behind what you do. So for those who are listening and thinking, well, I want to lose weight, how do I do that? What's your advice?
Well, I'll tell you, there's definitely very practical strategies, right? So one thing is reinstate routine. So one thing that has gone by the wayside is our routines, and that definitely impacts our mealtime. It impacts when we sleep. We know that sleep deprivation is very closely linked to weight gain. So my first tip is really reinstate your routines. The second is, create an environment for success. If the pantry has gotten filled up with foods that are triggering and difficult to resist, when the fridge is not stocked with good options, you have no choice but to make bad choices. So really creating an environment for success. And there are other strategies like higher protein diets. I'm not a fan of keto or some of these commercial weight loss strategies, but we know that consuming 20 to 30 grams of protein a day, per meal, it's actually quite a bit, will help suppress hunger hormones all day long. But here's the thing that people don't really know, and that is the link between emotions. And not only that, but self-acceptance, being able to meet yourself where you are at in this moment. And the science also shows that when we are self-judging, when we are self-deprecating, when we huff and puff at the scale and the numbers, we are less likely to instate change. And that makes sense, right? You jump on the scale, you notice you've gained more weight than you expected, you get mad at yourself, you get upset, and then you throw in the towel before you even give yourself a chance to start. So I think my most important tip would be really engage in this process with self-kindness and self-compassion. And that is really the best evidence-based way to create habit change.
So as women get older, we just sometimes you think, I didn't even change my diet that much, and yet you start gaining weight. And I don't know if it's the stress or if it's hormones, but what do you advise?
Absolutely. It's all of that, right? There's hormonal changes that are dictating change, where the fat gets deposited. Women start to get that mid-abdominal bulge, and that's very hormonally driven. And muscle mass starts to decline, right? And that will also result in a change in the metabolism. So what worked for us in our 20s and what worked for us in our 30s definitely will not work, in our 40s and 50s. So changing the diet, changing exercise, regimens and routines. Yeah. But to your point, what are the stresses that are happening? Women are starting to empty nest. There's changes in identity, and addressing those emotional issues is also important.
All right,
Doctor, thank you. Weight loss from Hungry for More, stories and science to inspire weight loss from the inside out. We're out of time. Thank you so much for your great information.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. All right, that was this edition of Better Connecticut. Karen and I are back the rest of the week.
I feel like we've learned so much.
I know, it was a very inspirational show today.
It really was. I feel inspired. Eyewitness News at 4 is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to go get a pencil skirt.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Watch us live wherever you are on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.